Honestly, I was really amazed when I discovered that there are human foods that can actually be superfoods for our dogs. From fixing an upset tummy, to naturally cleaning their teeth, to even potentially alleviating seasonal allergies, human foods can be amazing for dogs. But on the flip side, some human foods can be very toxic for dogs and even lethal. So you need to make sure that you choose the right foods that are actually good for dogs to eat. 1. Carrots. So a lot of people mistakenly believe that dogs are carnivores, but they're not. Like their ancestors, the wolves, dogs are omnivores. They naturally eat a diet of both plants and meat, and so many dogs love carrots. And carrots can be an amazing snack for a dog for 2 reasons. 1 is because it is packed with nutrients, and 2, because it can help clean their teeth. Carrots give our dogs very important nutrients: fiber to help keep their stool regular, potassium to keep their hearts beating strong, and vitamin A, which helps keep their bones strong and eyesight nice and sharp. Plus, as I said, carrots can help clean the dog's teeth, which is why a lot of vets have a nickname for them. They call them nature's dental chews. Because they're crunchy, as dogs crunch on them, the carrot scrapes against their teeth, scraping off all the plaque. And so I decided to put carrots to the test and give some to my dog Starbuck to see if he likes it. And well, when I gave Starbuck some raw carrot, it was a success. He loved it. And yes, he definitely had to give it a good chew. These definitely passed the Starbuck taste test. 2. Salmon. Salmon is a unique superfood for dogs, but you also have to be careful because if prepared wrong, it is a uniquely toxic food for dogs that can quickly kill them. But the reason why it is so good for dogs is because it is packed with omega-3 fatty acids. Not only does omega-3 boost dogs' immune systems and decrease body-wide inflammation, but it moisturizes their skin and it makes their fur soft and shiny. But, as I said, if salmon is prepared wrong, it can be very toxic for dogs. That is because raw or even just undercooked salmon can contain a parasite, Neorichthia helminthica. For us humans, most of the time, we can eat this parasite just fine, and usually we won't even feel sick if we do. But for dogs specifically, it is extremely lethal. It even has a 14-day incubation period. So for 2 weeks, you won't even know that your dog is sick. It also has a different nickname. It's called the dog salmon poisoning disease. So when I gave salmon the Starbuck taste test, I made sure it was completely cooked, and it absolutely passed. He loved it. 3. Cucumber. So cucumber is a very unique and a very handy snack for dogs because it is super low in calories. In 100 grams of cucumber, there are just 12 calories. That is extremely low. For reference, in 100 grams of zucchini, there are 17 calories. And in 100 grams of Brussels sprouts, there are 43 calories. What this means is that if you're training your dog and they're on a diet, but you also want to give them a reward, you can substitute cucumber in for their usual training treats. And because they're made up of 96% water, if your dog likes them, they can also be a really nice treat to help a dog cool down when the weather is hot. One thing to keep in mind though is that vets do not recommend that you give your dog an entire cucumber to chew on. Not only might it make them sick, but it can also be a choking hazard. That is why I chopped up my cucumber into small chunks when giving them the Starbuck taste test. He wasn't as fond of it as the salmon, but he did still like it, so it passed. 4. Eggs. So you've probably heard that if your dog has an upset tummy, that you should feed them chicken and rice. And while that is true, another food that is recommended by a lot of vets for dogs with upset tummies is eggs. You can even find fun vet-approved mini omelette recipes online. Eggs are great because not only are they easy for your dog to digest, but they're also packed with protein, plus lots of other vitamins and minerals, such as fatty acids, folate, vitamin A, and vitamin B12. However, to be safe, it's usually recommended that you cook your eggs fully through and that you don't give them to your dog raw. That is because egg whites contain avidin. This is an enzyme which binds to biotin, a necessary B vitamin. and it stops our dogs' bodies from being able to absorb it. Over an extended period of time, regularly eating undercooked egg whites can lead to a biotin deficiency, which can make our dog's fur dry, itchy, and even cause rashes. So I made sure to cook the egg completely before giving it to Starbuck, and it was a big hit. He loved it. It definitely passed the Starbuck taste test. 5. Honey. Now, I'll be honest, I was very surprised to learn that honey is healthy for dogs, but as long as it is a special treat given in small quantities, it has many important benefits and may even help alleviate their seasonal allergies. It's a bit controversial, but there are studies which may indicate that when you or your dog eats raw locally produced honey, it may reduce allergies from the pollen of your local flowers that was used to make it. Although I should say that the results of the studies were definitely mixed. But no matter what, honey is rich in antioxidants which help reduce body-wide inflammation, including inflammation from allergies. Honey is, however, very high in sugar, so it should only be given as a treat in very small quantities and never to dogs with diabetes. Dogs with compromised immune systems should also avoid honey that is raw, as should puppies, since their immune systems are still developing. As for Starbuck, when I let him have a taste of honey, you can see that he absolutely loved it. Honey definitely passed the Starbuck taste test. 6. Blueberries. So, just like honey, blueberries are delicious and sweet. But unlike honey, they are much lower in calories and sugar, which is great news for our dog's teeth. Blueberries are packed with lots of antioxidants and nutrients, but importantly, they are sources of 2 very important chemicals. One of these are anthocyanins. This is the pigment in blueberries that gives them that beautiful blue color. These protect the blood vessels of our dogs and help lower their blood pressure. Blueberries are also packed with phytochemicals. These help boost our dogs' immune systems to protect them from viruses, bacteria, fungi, and parasites. So I gave Starbuck some blueberries. And even though they weren't as sweet as honey, they were still a huge hit. This definitely passed the Starbuck taste test. 7. Sweet potato. So, sweet potatoes, which here in New Zealand we call kumara, is a big superfood for our dogs. Not only does it have lots of nutrients, but it's also a natural remedy for mild constipation and diarrhea in dogs. And that's for 2 reasons. Firstly, sweet potatoes contain soluble fiber. This absorbs water from your dog's stool, bulking it up. And secondly, sweet potatoes contain prebiotics. Foods that are prebiotics stimulate the growth of helpful gut bacteria and, conversely, inhibit the growth of harmful gut bacteria. One tip though that vets often give is that any time that you add extra fiber like this into a dog's diet, be sure that they always have plenty of water to drink, as fiber absorbs water. But of course, we still had to do the Starbuck taste test on sweet potatoes, and he loved it. Kumara definitely was a pass. 8. Green beans. So something about green beans is that despite being a low-calorie snack, dogs seem to go crazy for them. It's that unique combination of them both being slightly sweet, but also a little bit country. Dogs adore them. So much so that some vets will recommend that if your dog is trying to lose weight, that you should try the green bean diet. The way that the green bean diet works is that you start off by substituting 10% of your dog's daily food bowl for green beans. And then after 2 to 3 days, you increase it. You can increase it by up to 10% every 2 to 3 days. And so if your vet has recommended that you cut 20% of your dog's calories, then 20% of their food bowl would be green beans and 80% would be their regular food. This diet works because dogs usually love green beans, so they're really happy to eat them. But of course, before you put your dog on a diet, you should always do so with the guidance from your vet. But for now, time for the Starbuck taste test. And yes, like most dogs, he loved them. Green beans were definitely a pass. So then, are you going to try any of these foods with your dog? Let us know in the comments. And to learn more about dogs and how to enrich their lives and help them live their best life, be sure to watch the next video here on screen. Starbuck and I will see you in the next video.